I'm really tired when people keep saying, oh, this is another reboot. Oh, this is another sequel. Oh, this is a prequel to some. I'm really bored of it. It's like, why can't Hollywood make something new? No, you're putting the question all wrong. It's not that there is another sequel. Like, the real problem is that when is the last time you actually seen something original on the big screen? Like, something completely new. Think about it. No, seriously, like, just try to think. When was the last time you saw something? You could say Alita Battle Angel was good, but that's not new. That's inspired from an anime. You can say, oh, Marvel Avengers was great. That's not new. That's inspired from a comic book. Same with the Hunger Games. I guess like the last thing that I could say that was genuinely good and I liked it would be Brightburn. Like, Brightburn was a legitimately good movie. I had fun. And it lasted more than 2 weeks after the movie was over that I was still thinking about it. So, oh. But there used to be a time when all movies were great and they were original. I mean, The Predator. There's no book. There's no comic book. There's nothing before it. Just came out. People watched it. People liked it. The Terminator. And all these movies would create an entire culture wrapped around them. But now, like, there needs to be a culture wrapped around the thing, like the comic books industry, and then you make a movie based on that. Or there needs to be an entire culture wrapped around Indiana Jones, I suppose, so that you can make a sequel based on it. It's so weird. Okay, like, Hollywood has definitely lost touch with the public. I mean, just look at the last Oscars and you're going to see, like, the Best Picture award is a movie you've probably never heard about. You know, look on Wikipedia what other movies used to get Best Picture awards, and you'll see just, like, massive titles that everyone remembers. I doubt that this movie is something that people will remember 5 years from now. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Indiana Jones, yeah. I don't think you can make an Indiana Jones now. Like, certain movies were good in the past, but I don't think it can work today. What is Indiana Jones, right? It is the idea of, like, some guy going into a deep and forgotten jungle. The jungle of Mumambi. And he manages to uncover an ancient treasure. Well, I'm sorry to say, but in 2021, the jungle of Mumambi probably has a Starbucks there. Like, we've explored pretty much everything that is to explore. I can literally pick my iPhone now, and then I can go on. I have a Samsung, not an iPhone, but I'm just... and I can go on Google Earth, and I can find literally any type of mysterious Amazonian place you like. I don't think Indiana Jones can work. Not to mention, like, it's probably going to come up with accusations of cultural appropriation, cultural insensitivity, or whatever. Probably that's why they went with the aliens, huh? Because, like, the aliens can't say, oh, like, this is offensive to our culture by stealing the crystal skull or whatever. And people have, like, different expectations nowadays. You can't just have, like, a guy taking a bag from a pedestal and then the boulder comes running, because people are going to go. You're going to have Mauler go on a 7-hour video going, it's like, well, how are the physics possible? Do you not take into account the passage of time? Do you not think that, like, so much time have been... And what is the mechanism that they had? Like, how precise scaling did the ancient civilization that placed the treasure on the pedestal used? You're going to have that, you already have, like, the refrigerator thing, which a lot of people complain. I guess like the refrigerator was over the top, right? But the boulder in the temple definitely was not over the top. Yeah. The idea that maybe he can step on a slab and all of a sudden arrows come flying from the walls. I guarantee to you, like, you're going to have Mauler going like, oh, how is that possible? Like, what force shoots the arrows? Like, how does the trap work? Like, can we get a peek into the wall? Like, people can't just tune out of a movie. Like, you tune out and you just watch the movie anymore. No, like, it has to have logical consistency. And by the way, I don't mind logical consistency. Like, logical consistency, but it depends on the type of the movie. Like, some movies just don't want to take themselves seriously. Some movies just want to have things that look cool on the screen. But, you know, it's difficult to make a movie that has things that look cool on the screen because you need character building. You need other things to make up for the fact that you're not really invested in creating a lot of immersion. Yeah. So when it comes to Indiana Jones, how would I think? Like, if I were to revive the series, I would bring back Harrison Ford. You know, you can even do the ultimate fetish that Hollywood has. Like, the ultimate fetish, the thing that they masturbate on is to have a female lead on Indiana Jones. Like, they really want this. I personally don't, because I think Tomb Raider already fits that. Like, Tomb Raider is already great. You know, if you can have a spin-off where you have, like, Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider together, that would be awesome. If done properly, so. But no, like, they want Indiana Jones to be replaced by a woman. You can actually do that. And you can do it in such a sensible way that I wouldn't mind. You would have to get Indiana Jones to have either a daughter or a protege, a student, or something like that. And for one movie, he trains her. Like, he is still the main star. He's still doing all of the cool stuff, and she has a back seat. And then the next movie, she becomes more into the role, and she takes over. And I think, like, if you do that properly, and you would actually manage to have a female lead that's likable, which I don't know if Hollywood can do that anymore. I mean, Alita Battle Angel, the reason it was good is because she was likable. I don't think Hollywood is capable of making likable women anymore. Because they just make... I think, like, maybe the writers don't know women in real life, because it's like every single female character they make suffers from toxic masculinity. They're hyper-violent, hyper-aggressive, potty-mouthed. You know, like the type of person that you don't know in real life. It's not relatable. I think, like, seriously, Wonder Woman from the first movie, like, she was actually more close to likable. Manga makes really great women, but not Hollywood. I can't think of the last time Hollywood made an actual likable female character. It's just... No. No, just no. Like, no. Anyway, right, so... Apparently, Harrison Ford is going to go back, and the villains are going to be the Nazis in the 1960s space race between the US and the Soviet Union to reach the moon. I guess, but, like, this is not what screams Indiana Jones for me. You know, like, Indiana Jones to me screams about treasures and awesome relics. I mean, yeah, sure, the Nazis used to be the bad guys, but that wasn't the interesting thing. The interesting thing was the Ark of the Covenant. He was trying to get that, or the Holy Chalice that gives immortality. That was, like, the thing that really attracted me to this, because they're going to this foreign place, to this exotic place, because back then people didn't have Google. People, you know, only read about those places in a few pages of a book they happened to own. So now you get to see on the big screen, you see him going into an Amazon jungle, or maybe you have a villain that does some fancy sword stuff before Indiana Jones pulls out a gun and kills him. If you did that now, it would be offensive, right? Like, it'd be like, just, oh my god, like, this is the vision that Hollywood has about the Middle East, like, people don't have guns and blah blah blah. This is why I don't think this movie works, which is probably why they're just bringing the Nazis again. You know, and the Soviet Union, and then they're focusing on the space race rather than focusing on some treasure or whatnot. So apparently, like, the Illuminati is set to play a Nazi scientist that's recruited by the US government to work for NASA, possibly as part of Operation Paperclip, a real-life secret intelligence operation where the US hired over 1,600 Nazi engineers and technicians following the end of World War II. And this is Shanta Rene Wilson, who recently joins the film cast, will play the CIA handler tasked with keeping a close eye on the Nazi villain. The later will also have a woman sidekick in the form of an evil and brutal killer. There we go. Like, they don't know how to make women anymore. All the women are suffering from toxic masculinity. Every single woman in every single movie. The only way they know how to be strong is by beating the shit out of men twice their size. So yeah, I don't know. Not really interested. I gotta say, it's not the type of movie that I'm going to pay money to view. Kind of sad, you know, because there used to be this TV show that I like to watch, Young Indiana Jones. And Young Indiana Jones was actually quite funny, and it was very interesting at the time. This not so much. It's got nothing standing for it. It seems very generic. It seems the story is kind of meh. It doesn't follow the vibe that Indiana Jones should follow, which is exploring lost civilizations. And guess might wait for the new Tomb Raider movie. Like that might be something that I would watch. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section.